The underwater world is full of secrets. The deeper you go, the more the cameras of scientists and researchers capture images of fascinating creatures or mysterious structures. Have you ever seen, for example, fish with transparent heads, an erupting underwater volcano, or a mermaid? That's what you will discover in today's video. Let's start! A team of divers filmed Yeti crabs, a species of crabs that have hairy claws. That's right. The claws of these deep-sea creatures are covered with numerous filaments that look like hairs. But not only, these hairs are also home to bacteria that play a nutritive role for these crabs. Thanks to their hairy claws that they move in a rhythmic way, these animals stir up the water and thus they attract nutrients for the bacteria that develop on their hairs. Finally, they devour these bacteria, which they love. In some tropical seas, there is a species of fish called apagon, where the male acts as both father and mother. If the female lays the eyes, the male takes care of the rest. Indeed, for a few days, he incubates all his little eggs inside his mouth, regularly ensuring their oxygenation until they hatch. Starfish are beautiful creatures, everyone agrees. It's always fascinating to see one on a beach, but to see it move is even more amazing. Well, here it is. Here's a starfish that was filmed by someone. Look how it moves. What grace. Now here's a fish that looks like no other. As you can see, this fish has a transparent head that allows us to see its large green bulging eyes. We can even see what is going on inside this translucent head. But of course, we don't know what this unusual creature must have been thinking when these images were captured in the deep sea. If there is a marine creature that made the buzz on social networks and panicked the web some time ago, it is the fish with a human face. Take a look and tell me what you see. Isn't it human features that we see on the face of this fish? Maybe it's just an illusion after all, but whatever it is, this creature has left many of us speechless. Some marine creatures living deep in the ocean are often very difficult to observe, but in November 2021, the US National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the NOAA, managed to capture images of one of these species that are rare to find. This is the long-armed squid, also known as the spider squid, because of its long, thin limbs. Look how nimbly it moves. Now watch the strange reaction of this ray. You can clearly see that it is opening its mouth as if it is laughing while this man is having fun tickling it. But according to the experts, there's nothing weird or naughty about this reaction. What do you think it all means? There is an unusual marine creature called a tunicate. The tunicate has a brain as well as a nervous system, but as an adult, this brain plays an extraordinary role for this creature. Well, it serves as food, quite simply. One can wonder how this animal can live without a brain. Amphitriotus pelagicus is an octopod species that lives in the tropical areas of the Pacific and Indian Oceans. It has a transparent body, but those who looked at this creature closely were struck by its eyes. Take a look at these pictures. This animal has tube-shaped eyes that look like microscope lenses or telescopes and seem to scrutinize you intently, intimidating this fish. The anglerfish is a fish that lives in total darkness, at a depth that can exceed 1,000 meters below the surface. Scientists know little about this species because its study remains difficult. Nevertheless, they made an interesting discovery about this fish. See that light pole stuck in its forehead? Well, since it lives in the dark, the anglerfish has befriended bioluminescent bacteria that light its way and allow it to attract prey. In return, it offers them hospitality on its head. Now that's what we call having a fusional relationship. Sometimes it is rare to observe some marine species while they are eating their prey. However, we managed to film a marine flatworm while it was eating. Take a look at how it gobbles up its prey. Well, the way this creature devours its meal proves its veracity. Now you'll see images worthy of a scene from an adventure movie. But of course, this is not a scene from a movie, but a real event that took place a few years ago and whose protagonist is the French freedivers Guillaume Nery, who went to the Bahamas to the famous Dean's Blue Hole, where he did not hesitate to make a great jump to unbelievable depths. Beware, it may give you the impression of missing air, but the scene is just breathtaking. Do you see this weird thing resting on this little water spot? At first sight, it looks like a rock or a log, but in fact, it is a living creature. That's right, we only realize it when this person turns it over. This unusual-looking animal is a mollusk known as the Pacific giant chitin. Take a look at what it looks like. Did you know that there are evil creatures that inhabit the ocean floor, like this one for example? Don't worry, this creature is not a devil. In fact, it is only evil in name. It is actually a species called devil scorpionfish, because of its shape and color, of course. Here is a rather interesting specimen to see in the deep sea. In Africa, off the coast of Angola, an underwater camera filmed a strange creature that left the people who saw it perplexed. Not only had they never seen such a creature, but the shape of this aquatic animal was out of the ordinary, with all those thin and intertwined limbs that looked like spaghetti. In fact, this animal was even named the Flying Spaghetti Monster, in reference to its shape. You have probably already heard about the Baltic Sea anomaly, haven't you? If on the contrary you don't know anything about it, then you should know that this anomaly refers to a mysterious object that was found at the bottom of the Baltic Sea in 2011 and gave rise to many speculations afterwards. Some even believed that it was an anomaly of extraterrestrial origin, until recently. Indeed, scientists have finally found the true nature of this object. After some analysis of a sample, these experts discovered that it was nothing more or less than a glacial deposit. This is very disappointing news for those who believed they had found proof of an extraterrestrial presence. If there is a species of shark that is not well known, it is the lute shark, as it lives in very deep waters. Apart from its long nose, it was often difficult to imagine what its jaw could look like until the day a camera filmed the animal without its knowledge. Here's what happened. While trying to avoid the camera, the animal bit by instinct the arm of the diver cameraman, who was there, and wow, this shark revealed its gigantic jaw to everyone. This is what gives us chills. Now, here's a rare video of a fish that was filmed somewhere in the depths, with its big bulging eyes that look surprised and its body that seems to give off light. This fish is really amazing, don't you think? The universe of the abyss will never cease to surprise us. Do you know it? Even the ocean has its scavengers. The proof is in this video that was taken by a team of divers and that shows dozens of marine creatures on a carcass. These animals are indeed on a whale carcass, and from what we can see, they seem to enjoy themselves. Do you know the black smokers or hydrothermal vents? They are mountain-like structures found in the abyss. Impressive. Now, experts have discovered a giant hydrothermal vent of more than 10 meters high near the Galapagos Island. This is even more impressive. Do you know what marine tortoises look like when they die? Take a look. These images were taken at the bottom of an ocean cave on the island of Sipadan, Malaysia. This place is even considered the only known sea turtle graveyard in the world. One day, a diver was quietly exploring the ocean floor when suddenly he came across these two skeletons. But what could these two skeletons be doing sitting quietly on chairs at the bottom of the water? It must be a good joke. Someone must have put these skeletons on chairs to scare the divers. What do you think? About 10 years ago, an underwater camera captured images of a mysterious creature that no one could positively identify because of its bizarre appearance. Although it was eventually identified as a rarely seen species of jellyfish, it is still unclear what exactly was spotted that day in the deep sea. Do you know the longest animal ever discovered? It is not the blue whale, and it is not an extinct species either. It is a gelatinous animal called siphonophore. Thanks to an underwater video, we were able to take pictures of this animal and see what it looks like. It is very long, right? It is said that the length of the specimen that was discovered measured 46 meters. Scientists who explore the ocean floor can make amazing discoveries. Sometimes they can come across XXXL version specimens. Like this sea sponge, for example. Look at these pictures. This sea sponge, which looks like no other, caused the surprise of these scientists. Admit it, you've never seen a sea sponge of this size before, have you? In the depths of the oceans, there are not only fish and other aquatic creatures, but also volcanoes. It may seem hard to believe, but these underwater mountains can erupt just like land-based volcanoes. In fact, an underwater camera managed to capture the moment when a volcanic eruption was taking place in the depths of the ocean. Check out these breathtaking images. This is a real underwater spectacle to behold. Many marine and oceanic locations are the subject of much speculation and rumors about the presence of extraterrestrials. You can imagine that we even suspect the existence of extraterrestrial underwater bases in certain places on the planet. Here is an example of a so-called proven images that could confirm this theory. You are familiar with SpongeBob and his friend Patrick Star, right? But did you know that these two characters also exist in reality? Take a look at this picture. The diver who found these two creatures next to each other was as surprised as you were and didn't hesitate to film this unusual scene. Well, for a coincidence, it is indeed one. However, we don't know if these two real creatures are friends like in the movie. Look at this long plastic tube. You may wonder what brought it to the bottom of the ocean. But this thing is not a plastic object, it's an animal. You heard me right, it's a species known as pyrosome. This is another creature that has surprised deep-sea explorers. And we end with this video that was taken in Submarine location. Watch it until the end. A mermaid! This is totally incredible! It is true that we only see this kind of scenes in movies, but the images that have been captured are real. Do mermaids finally exist? Now, tell us in the comments. Among the things you have just seen today, which one surprised you the most? Have you ever seen other strange underwater creatures or phenomena? Don't forget to subscribe and click here to watch another of our videos.